Hello and welcome to the 17th episode of the Darkness podcast. I'm your host, TDN Horror Stories, and as always, I am joined by my feather co-host as the Raven Dreams. I can't talk today. And Cacao. And today
Sorry.
marks the final episode for this year. We're going to be reflecting on the past year, our growth, the people we met, and the future of our channels for the new year. It's been a crazy year, to say the least. A lot of shit has happened. A lot of shit has happened. Like that's a complete understatement, but
Crazy is the understatement of 2020.
yeah, for real. It's hard to describe how fucking insane this year has been. Um and good and bad ways. I know that's kind of weird because like you kind of have to kind of push away the shit to really see the light. But there has been some very special moments for the both of us. And I we haven't really got a chance to fully like sit down and lay it out and really talk about how much it meant to us and like what we really cherish about this year. And we could talk about what we hated, of course. That's
Right.
it, you have to. You can't really just avoid it because it's surrounded all of it. So I just want to go through and you know we're gonna talk about this year. This year is the year I met you, so that's a huge thing. Without you, I don't think this podcast would still be going, honestly, because what this podcast needed was somebody who I can rely on consistently to be consistent. Not, of course, we keep talking about after the podcast ends, like with our guests and stuff, like how you don't talk that much, but that's kind of how you like it. That it's
Right.
not really that way. What I mean is, I needed somebody to be like, "Hey, are we doing this?" Like, because otherwise, I would be like, if you don't say anything, then I'm not. It's not going to happen. Bec- today I woke up and I asked if you still wanted to do it, but that was because I'm so into it now that like it is a thing. At the
Right.
beginning, though, the first couple of episodes, I didn't know how long it was going to last.
Right. No, and I'm beyond just to be completely honest with you, I'm beyond honored that you actually asked me way back. It feels like way back, but it's only been, 20 weeks total.
It's been a couple
Um
months, yeah.
it's about 5 months because I know we've missed a couple episodes for varying reasons, of course,
Yeah.
but no, yeah, I'm beyond honored, dude. Like I love doing this, and I mean, every time you've ever asked me if I still want to do an episode, what's my answer always going to be? It's always going to be yes. Or
Yeah.
today,
No,
why wouldn't I?
it was just where I'm going through some stuff, everybody's going through
Right.
stuff. Like, I just had to ask because
Mhm.
it's just there's a lot going on right now for everybody. So
No, I get you.
yeah,
I'm, like I said, you know me by now, dude. I'm just happy to be part of something, especially working with you. I think we determined that we met each other back, what, in April, I think?
I think that's what it was. Yeah, I think I knew about you before that. Like I saw you
Right.
circulating because Ladies Pucaria is what brought you to my attention.
hmm
Because she talked
I just,
about you a lot and she kept retweeting your stuff. So and also my girlfriend was actually the reason that I went to your live stream that day at all.
right, right.
I had
I just,
I heard your name, I had never watched one of your videos, and Anime was like, "Hey, I watched this guy. Can you go to? He's having an issue with something. Can you go check?" I think that's what it was. I think it was like you were having an issue
probably.
with something, uh, audio wise or narration wise, or you had something technical going on. And she
Sure.
always makes me go to people's channels because she knows I've been doing it for a while, and she knows that I'll give them to a straight like, "Hey, do this or do this," and if you can't, then you're fucked. You kind of have to fix it this way. So she always sends me to people's channels. And in turn, it's actually happened to make me meet a lot of people that I really like,
hmm
especially you. So she sent me to your channel. I don't remember if that's what it was, but I'm only saying it because she does it all the time. So I'm assuming that's what it was. So she sent me to your channel, and I remember the live stream, and I remember hearing your voice. And at first, I was like, it doesn't really sound like personally I would listen to your voice because I
hmm
really like that like deep type stuff. Um,
hmm
but then I went and I listened to a couple of your videos. I went away from your live stream and I listened to a couple of your videos, and I was like, Jesus, this guy's got a fucking knack for this shit. Like, this guy's got a cadence, and I really, really, really like it. It wasn't even your voice. It was just the way you read. It was just the way you said things. Like it felt less like you were reading and more like you were the person. And as someone who
Hmm.
does that myself, that was
Right.
you don't see it very often.
Right. No, I
What people doing
completely
it. You
agree.
don't see people actually acting this shit out, which I find to be the most fun part about all of this.
Yeah.
So you do. I can hear it in your voice that you're doing it like you're really acting it, like not
Right.
reading it. You're acting it. I felt that because I've done it for so long. So when I realized that, I was like, this is a rare breed of narrators. Like I really want to know this guy. I don't know why, but I remember being like, I don't know what the motive was behind it, but I remember being like, I really want to work with this guy. Like, even if nothing came out of it, like, even if we didn't become like friends, I
Right.
really wanted to work with you. I knew that for a fact. So I had to be like in the live stream, like, yo, we got to do something. We got to work together. And
Yeah. No,
I remember how you acted because at the time you were like, dude, it's just a fucking honor for you to be here. And I'm like, I'm looking at my sub count, and like 1K at the time was like huge for me.
I feel like you were closer to two because I think I had like 400. That's the thing.
I think I was like 1.5. I think I was at least
Well,
over 1.5.
okay, but I mean, from from someone who had just been doing it for a couple months and had no idea what the hell they were doing,
Mm-hmm.
to have someone who was, again, I think didn't you say something similar to this about horror by numbers with you? It means a lot to
No,
have
I
someone who's
really
larger
had
than
to
you like
reflect
that.
on it because
Right.
that the reason it struck me so hard is that I never had that before. Like
Right.
no one's ever looked at me and be like, "Holy shit, dude, it's you!" Like that's never ever happened before, and it wouldn't happen again until HorrorCon. So
Right. And
it
that's
yeah,
yeah.
that was just it was really weird. It was really fucking weird to hear you say because I heard it in your voice. You were genuine about it, so it was really cool to hear that. And from then, I was just like, I have to work with this guy. And after our video came out, like the four classic creepypastas or whatever we did, it
Hmm.
was a creepypasta backlogs video, the last one I actually would ever do.
Yeah,
So,
I remember that. Yeah.
uh, and I remember you did. I don't remember what the fucking name of the story is. It's a classic one. It's I think
Was it white and red?
we danced. I think that's
We
what it was
danced.
called.
That's it.
Yeah, and the way you said the first line was like noises above you while people are home isn't weird to hear when you have a huge family, but I was home alone. And it was just the way you said it. I was just like, dude, this fucking guy's good. He's bringing me in, and it's like the first sentence. Like, I've heard this story 1,000 times.
Hmm.
And I was
Yeah.
just yeah, this is probably the best rendition I've ever heard. So I was like, this is fucking awesome. I'm so happy I have this guy in my video. And I think at the time I didn't think like, all right, I want to work with this guy for as much as I can. It was when I think it was when I started talking to you more and more.
Hmm.
And then I don't did we have I can't remember. Did we do that gaming thing where we sat in our Discord before we did the podcast?
Um. Yeah, I think so. Because I also had you over on my channel for a 4 hour chat
Right,
right
and
before. I
that
was it
had
that
to
was
have been. I think that was before the podcast.
I think that was right before the podcast.
Yeah, because
Actually,
we
yeah.
named the podcast after the Discord
Hmm.
to keep it
Yep.
as like a unit thing.
Yep.
Yeah, you were. Yeah, okay. Yeah. Because you named the podcast. You named the Discord,
Right.
and I was like, it's just too perfect. If we have a Discord that's ours, and then we have this podcast that's ours, and we just name it the same thing, it'll be like a brand. Like
Right.
if people see the Darknest, they know it's us.
Because I remember because I was apprehensive at first because you were like, "Hey, we should do a Discord," and I'm like, I don't like Discord at all.
I just thought at the time, like I had already done a server before and it fucking blew up, but it kind of
Right.
like died out when the horror community started getting bigger and all of the audience members wanted their own. So now there's just like this whole thing, and mine died out
Hmm.
like a year and a half ago. So I deleted that one, and I tried again, and I just couldn't figure out why it wasn't working. And I found out it was because I started that original Discord with HBN.
Mm,
He was
makes
basically
sense.
how we are now. He basically spearheaded the whole fucking thing. He was like, all right, we're gonna do a Discord. It's gonna be both. If anybody wants to know what our Discord is, we send them both to this one. So we in turn get more audience members to the same thing, even
Hmm.
if neither of them know who either of us are.
Right.
So it kind of just it does it itself. No matter how much slower that gets in pace, there's always going to be someone now because we both advertise it.
Yep.
So
Completely agree on that.
I think that was the whole idea. I mean, it has kind of died down a little bit because like I don't check it like ever, and I know
So,
you're on it a lot, but
well, I've just always logged in because that's how I have on
mm-hmm.
my phone. I just leave it logged in.
I look at the messages. I just don't think I ever really up reply.
I was gonna say I don't think necessarily that it's died down. It's just that the conversation doesn't pick up a lot
Mm-hmm.
because we all have lives
Yeah,
and it's just kind of there if we need it there. And it's just it's a good it's for fun, man. It's not,
yeah, I know.
you know, we don't run it like our lives.
No, I used to when I first did the original one because at the time, uh, the Discord and my channel were growing so fast, and like
Uh-huh.
the audience was like so supportive. Like they're still supportive, but at the time it was insane to. Shit. It was insane to me. At the time because like I had been at the time I think I had been doing YouTube for like 6 or 7 years and it wasn't working.
Hmm.
Um,
Holy
so
shit, 6 or 7 years.
6 years.
Jesus.
Not on this channel,
No, right. That's, I know this
but
is
I
what you thought
had my
before, but
first channel was made in 2013, and I had been
damn.
trying with that channel for I think it was like 3 or 4 years. I did that one, and then the last like 2 years I was like trying a bunch of different things. So I made another channel in the same
Hmm.
name, thinking that maybe I kind of fucked the last one and the
Oh.
name or whatever. So I just kind of I started from scratch. So, that didn't work. So I decided to make what was it called?
I apologize. I didn't mean to clear my throat on the stream. I thought I hit the mute button. I'm sorry, man.
It's all right. But I think it was called Synthwave Games. I think that's what I called it. And at the time, I created Synthwave Games. But at the same time I launched Synthwave Games, I launched the Dark Narrator. Um, basically trying to make gaming videos and something else I really wanted to do separate. Because I had done creepypasta videos in between gaming videos on the original channel, and I found that I thought they were so much more fun than trying to make myself sound funny while playing a game.
Right.
That was the
Yep.
thing I hated the most. I hated trying to make myself sound funny
Yep.
when all I had to do is like it's easier to make yourself sound creepy because anybody could really be creepy. So, uh, I just it was yeah that's where I am now. Um,
Yeah. It may surprise you, but I actually know all about that struggle. I had a personal channel and I had a gaming channel at one
mhm.
time that still exists if you could find it.
Oh,
But I'm not
all
gonna
of
tell
my
you what it
channels are
is.
still up. They're none of them ever got deleted.
Right.
All of the videos are still up from like 7 years ago.
Like my gaming channel, I wasn't
Yes, Day, you're very
like
creepy.
Day is not creepy.
She
Um,
called herself creepy.
I know. What I was gonna say is I much like you, it felt forced.
Yeah, I didn't feel like I was doing it because I enjoyed it. I felt like I was doing it because everybody else was doing it, and I saw that they were making it big. So I was like, oh, I could do that. I couldn't do that. I don't know
Right.
how
It's
they
like
did that.
there was joy to it. Like I watch way too much Gray Still Plays, and the way he does things is hilarious to me. Him and Call Me Kevin.
Mm, I
I
love
was like
Call Me Kevin.
I could be funny like that. Those are the kind of jokes that I can crack randomly, and then I'm like, I fucking suck at this. I am so bad.
Yeah, it was. I don't know.
All 7 of my subscribers.
I didn't get like any likes or any comments for those like 6 years. Nobody ever paid attention to my channels ever.
I got like I said, I got up to 7 subs because I focused on games on itch.io,
Mm.
so they were unfinished. and I would always post my videos in the comments, basically as a review, quote unquote.
Yeah, that happens a lot now.
Mm-hmm. I actually, again, I remember. Oh no, who was the gaming channel we had on? What was his name?
Voodoo Lou.
Thank you, Voodoo Lou. I was like, it wasn't Zacarias, it wasn't Josh. Who was it?
Yeah, he does that as well.
I remember Voodoo Lou mentioning it way back.
Yeah, he's growing. He's growing a lot more now. He's about to hit 600, and he just hit 5. So,
Nice.
yeah, I'm really really happy about that because he's been doing YouTube for the past 4 or 5 years, and he's been working on this channel like constantly for the last 3. So, like, and his, I don't know if you've ever actually watched one of his videos, but the quality is like, it's not 600 subs quality. It's like way bigger. And I've always noticed that about him, so that's why I brought him on here, because I was like, dude, I want you to know how much I think you should be fucking massive.
Right. No, I get that. That's good though. That's striving to be as best as you can, even whenever you're small, doesn't, that actually does, in my opinion, help. And I remember watching 1 or 2 of his videos whenever we had him on, because I had to see who the hell he was. As I do. But no, yeah, that's awesome to hear. I'm glad to hear.
Yeah,
that.
I'm really happy about that. I hope he gets really big, because he deserves it for sure.
Same.
Yeah, a lot has happened. A lot has happened. I met you. I met a couple of authors. I actually met Boris Bakic, who I did the audiobook for, back in January. No, back in November or December, and that's when he said I could do his Tales of a Security Guard thing. And then he asked me in January if I wanted to narrate his audiobook.
Nice.
And the audiobook didn't really get finished till like March or something like that.
Oof.
It was a fucking process, especially when you're doing it by yourself. I met you, I met Zacharias, I met Boris, I met so many people. Dea became an audience member this year, and she's one of like the biggest supporters
Same.
Of my channel. So like, I met Lady Spucaria this year as well. I knew about her before, but I didn't talk to her until this year, I think. There's so many people.
Spucaria was actually the first person to comment on my first video.
She was like, "You fucking suck, bro."
Literally, that no. No, she was like, "Oh, I'm looking forward to more from you. Welcome to the family, blah blah blah." And yeah, that was like my first welcome into it, and that was really cool because again, I had 5 subscribers because I had just started, and she had almost she had like 700, 600, something like that. So I'm like, oh damn. So it is crazy that,
when you're that small, that number is like massive. Like, you don't even realize it. Like, you're like, oh my god, 500 subs. I don't have 500
right. It's like
subs.
whenever you just join.
Yeah, I know exactly how
my
you
name.
feel. Oh shit!
He said,
Lady Spicaria's in here.
You didn't block
Hello.
it. Hello.
I forgot that there's still people in the server. It does. I don't honestly. I don't give a shit
cool.
because you've been.
Hey. She was our first guest.
You have been. I mean, yeah, she was our first guest for this fucking podcast. That's so cool.
I'm just like invading your stream right now.
No, it's no. It really doesn't matter. It honestly. It's really
that pulling a Jensen at this point. No, I'm just kidding.
Basically, yeah.
No.
Wow, it's her. Casual dropping in.
You mentioned my name. You summoned me.
Yeah. Great. Now we have to like lure her away with chicky nuggies.
Yes. So how many nuggies will you offer me to get off your stream?
Shit. I have to have nuggies for myself, right?
I do not want to hear your excuses. I just want these nuggies.
You know me. All I fucking make is excuses. My whole life is an excuse.
I have some popcorn chicken. Is that good enough?
I mean,
come on. You're gonna have to do better than that.
What if he smashes a couple of the popcorn chickens together to make a nugget? I mean, basically.
What do you be for? You summoned me here.
Why don't you? All right, go. I'll give you one. Go to KFC, ask for popcorn chicken. They will give you nuggets because it's a lie. Because I ordered popcorn chicken, and the fucking sizes. I'm like, what kind of popcorn are these people eating? These fucking things are huge.
Nice.
They are. They're like golf balls.
I don't like KFC nuggies anyway. So
Oh,
you're gonna have to do better than that.
Fucking, I don't know. I don't know what you fucking Australians eat.
I can make my own chicken nuggets.
Well,
Go
look
on.
at you. Go on. I'm waiting. I'm waiting for the moment where you say that I'm going to receive some.
Yeah.
I mean,
waiting.
I feel like with how USPS goes, they would just get lost.
Oh yeah, they would probably be moldy by the time they got there.
They'll get there in 2026.
Yeah.
It's like I got nuggies. I think they were nuggies from.
But now they just look like
the
rocks.
Raisin Dream.
So
yeah, I like Macca's nuggies.
So now that you're here,
Mm.
Lady Spicarian, how
Yeah.
is there anything on this year that you can about this year that you can think of that really stands out to you? That's something that happened to you, or like something big that happened to you, or something that really like changed you this year.
I don't know. I think it's a lot of it was just getting through this year.
Yeah, for real. No, I 100% agree.
Agreed.
There,
I hit 1,000 subs this year.
Yeah, you did. Forgot about that.
Yes.
That's big. That is really big.
Yeah.
I'm basically just talking about like, how this whole year was a shitstorm, like all like the little tiny like bits of light that everybody had, like the little tiny ones, like meeting Raven and like getting to start this podcast and stuff like that. Because I definitely had a shit year for sure, especially the end.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm leaving this year without someone, but I'm also leaving this year with a lot more people that I came. I'm leaving this year with a lot more people than I had when I came in. So that's something that I'm definitely going to look back on for a long time.
Yeah, like I know. I think the friendships that you have made become more intense.
Oh, for sure.
During adversity, so that's one thing I'm happy for. But the year has been just it's been a rough year.
Yeah, it really has.
It has. Yeah.
And I'm just hoping that 2021 is better. Like, I hated 2019, but I fucking hated 2020.
Yeah.
Like, I thought 2019 was, like, the worst year of my life. Nah. 2020, by far, has been the worst year of my life. Like, it was so bad. It blew... That's the fucked up part, is that it blew by. Like, I'm happy about that because it was so horrible and I didn't have to, like, really think about how fast it was going, but that's why it went so fast, because it was so shit. By the time it became Christmas, I'm like, it doesn't even fucking feel like Christmas.
You're talking about 2019, right? Because 2020 felt like forever.
Not for me. Not for me. I had a lot of shit stuff that happened this year that it kind of just... I had a lot of points in the year where I was home because I had to quit my job. I had to then start a new job. I lost a couple of friends. I lost my grandmother. So, like, there's just a lot that I think that my brain just kind of blocked out time-wise because of how much it fucking sucked. When your brain kind of blocks out the traumatic experiences.
Yeah, that's
I
a survival
thing.
thing.
I feel like that's what happened. I feel like it felt like, to me, that it went by really fast because I'm looking... It's almost January 2021, and I was like, bro, what the fuck?
Yeah.
I like how we're having... Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
No, go
on. We're having this deep conversation in chat's like, let's talk about food. I'm like,
yeah, no, I'm looking by the whole thing, and I'm like, you fucking assholes.
Look, y'all talked about chicken nuggets, and I'm like, okay, but have y'all fried chicken coated in waffle batter? I'm not even kidding.
I've never done that, but that sounds great.
Oh my god, it is the best thing in the world.
I'm gonna have to do that.
Back to the serious conversation. Sorry, I didn't mean.
Did you hold on before we continue? Did you make that?
Yes.
Can you please send me like how you did it?
Yeah, you use instant waffle mix and you mix it all together and you coat the chicken in it and then you deep fry it and you
Do you still do like a buttermilk marinade for the chicken?
You can. I mean, I usually use more of a balsamic.
So this is just
marinade.
so this is just kind of replacing the flour batter, the flour dredge type thing.
Basically,
Yeah.
yeah. So I usually marinate it in balsamic vinegar just to give it more of a little bit of a sharp taste. And then you coat it in the waffle mix, you deep fry it, and then the dip you make is Dijon mustard with pure maple syrup.
Oh my god.
Dude,
I'm gonna have to fucking make this like tomorrow. Like,
dude, dude.
I always make my fried chicken with buttermilk and a bunch of my own like recipe seasonings and stuff. So I'm gonna probably just stick to that.
You
But
can add buttermilk to the waffle mix; it would work.
true, I could do that.
I'm so
Yeah.
hungry right now.
I just
I
like
know,
the way
like-
I just like the thick. I just like the thick moisture that happens when you actually use buttermilk because it like
Mhm.
traps everything in. So I'm
Yeah.
probably
Nice
just
and
gonna do
thick.
that.
Just add that to the waffle mix. Like I said, dip
Yeah.
it in, deep fry it, and Crisco typically is the best way to go, or some sort of oil.
Yeah, I usually use Cresco.
If you have a deep fryer, even better, because it gets that nice waffle cold golden brown, and then it's just perfect.
Oh my god, I've never even thought about that, and I fucking love chicken and waffles.
So I thought of that because I was depressed and lost my job and wanted to make dinner for patients.
And it turned out to be the best fucking thing you've ever made.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Depression makes good food. Let's just say that.
So
That's true. That is very true.
So like I stated before, I haven't really talked about it like vocally here. But my grandmother did pass away 2 weeks ago due to COVID-19. And it's been really fucking hard. That's probably the hardest thing this year. I know everybody's dealing with like a lot of shit, and really the bulk of a lot of the shit that happened this year happened at the beginning. But for me, this is the heavy hitter. Like this is the shit that really got to me, and it's still hitting me. I'm probably never gonna get over it. But
No, I don't mean to be this way, but
no, 100%. I already know this
Yeah.
this pain will in some way last forever. And I already know that. I don't really care about sugarcoating it or anything. It doesn't make it any worse. It doesn't make it any better. Like I'm not really one of those types of people. Like give me a couple days and like you can probably tell me anything, and I'll be all right. But yeah, it's been really fucking hard. But I feel like in a weird way, her passing made me stronger because when she passed, I knew I had to take over some responsibilities for the house. Like I've always done like the dishes. I've always like cleaned stuff, but I felt like I had to turn into somebody else really to keep not only my mind going, but to make it so my uncle didn't feel like he was just like falling apart. So
right.
because we both live together now. This is it. It's just us. And we live in her house. Like this is like her house. We walk outside of the room. The only thing about this house that doesn't feel like super heavy is our rooms because it's our stuff. But when we walk out of the door, like the doors to our rooms, it's all of her shit.
Right.
So it's like immediately it smacks you in the face, no matter how hard you try to forget. So I've just been trying to like keep up like the home feel. So I've been doing the dishes like constantly. I've been like cleaning the house, and I've been making dinner like fucking crazy. Like, dude, all right. So the 3 week, I don't know if everybody here knows this, but I did have COVID. So I think I got, when did I get it? Thanksgiving?
So you got sick right before the Let's Read podcast.
Yeah, so Thanksgiving, because we did the podcast after Thanksgiving, that Sunday. Because Thanksgiving was on Thursday.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay, so I think I got sick the Wednesday of that week because I started feeling like shit, but I thought it was just that I overworked myself at work. And then on Thursday morning, I started getting like sniffles, so I was like, it feels like a cold. So then I cooked I cooked Thanksgiving dinner. And then Friday, I woke up and I felt like fucking dog shit. And I was like, all right, this feels horrible. So I went into work for like a couple hours, but they didn't want me to stay there because they were like, bro, we're not letting you touch anything. And I'm like, all right, what do I do? And they're like, just go home. I'm like, okay. So I went home and I fell asleep and I woke up and I felt like absolute ass. It was the worst fucking, like, I had a very, very mild case of COVID. Like, I didn't feel as bad as, like, nearly as bad as my grandma or my uncle did. Like, I didn't even have a fever or a cough. But my whole body felt like I was being, like pummeled from every inch. Like, it fucking hurt. And that shit lasted, like, 2 weeks. My symptoms didn't fully go away until, like, 2 weeks later. But during those 2 weeks, this is the whole point I'm trying to make. During those 2 or 3 weeks, I was watching nothing but cooking videos. So when I came out, I was like, I'm gonna cook some stuff. So
I can imagine, yeah.
the day after my grandma passed, I wanted to kind of just like I said, keep the home feel. So what I did was I bought like some really expensive ribeye steaks. I couldn't afford them, but I fucking bought them. And I bought like some red steamable potatoes and some corn and stuff. And I just remembered, like, I had never cooked a steak this way. I always kind of just seared it off in a pan and just put salt and pepper on it. But they're like, no, fry it in butter. And I'm like, okay.
Yes.
So I had margarine. So I took like a tablespoon or maybe a tablespoon and a half of butter. And they're like, don't skimp on the butter. Don't skimp on it. Like, throw as much as you think you need. And I'm like, okay. So I tossed like a pretty decent amount because I knew I had 2 steaks to cook. So I tossed like maybe 2 tablespoons worth of butter in there. It got it really fucking hot, and I just kept turning them in the butter and searing it off, and then like they're like, also take a spoon and like tilt the pan and then grab the butter from the spoon and like ladle it over. So it just keeps just fucking destroying it with butter.
Yes.
By the time it came out, I know I'm making everybody hungry. I'm sorry. I'll stop after this, but I had to talk about it. I didn't have to use a knife. I took the fucking fork and just pulled. It was like pulled pork. That was it. I could literally like pancake slice it with my fork. It was that fucking soft. Because and I was like, maybe it's just this cut. No, I did the same thing Christmas Eve. I had everybody over and I bought a bunch of New York strip steaks and I cooked the strip steaks the same way. No, same thing. It's just because the butter is like softening the steak. So if anybody's out there and they cook steak without butter, start cooking with butter, because holy shit. And like not like a little bit on the bottom of the pan, like deep fry this fucking shit in butter. Like, it's so good. Yes. Like shallow fry this shit. Make sure like the butter is basically like halfway up the steak. Like it's so good.
I'm so hungry now. God
you have to make it this way. That's like not you have to. It's like the proper way that I know of now. I never made it this way. I'm never going back.
It's like you've discovered. It's like you've embraced a religion.
Yeah, for real. It's like I didn't realize like this is. Like, I learned how to properly sear things, and, like, this is what you should do before you bake things. Like, sear it off and then bake it so you get that color and that crunch, because you're not going to get it from the oven. Like, I learned all this shit. I made a pork tenderloin the next night from scratch. Like, all the shit I did was scratch. I made a sauce, and I ladled, twisted, and I made it glazed. It was so cool. But, yeah. I don't know. What did you guys do for Christmas?
What?
What did you guys do for Christmas?
I'll let you start, Spakaria.
I spent time with the family, and we had a nice meal and hung out all day, and that's about it.
And
ate some food and.
You know, Spakaria, you know what the really funny thing is? Is like you're dying of hunger right now, but you popped in here. Yeah. You're not required to be here right now. You can totally leave. We can't leave. You can.
I could leave.
I have not been given nuggies that I have been promised during the summoning, so therefore it's
We didn't mention nuggies to get you here. We just said your name.
Well, you said my name, therefore you summoned me.
She has a point.
But nuggies were not mentioned in the contract. I didn't sign it in blood.
Oh no! Whenever she's
you signed it.
It's implied.
You signed. Yeah.
But anyway, I mean, I could leave, but that's not the point.
If you left, I swear to God,
Raven leaves. Like
it'll just be the Dark podcast next year.
It's like
That sounds really edgy.
Mm-hmm.
The dark.
I mean, look at the fucking thumbnail now. I'm basically, I'm going towards the edginess of it. I mean, I got fucking particles like just these embers floating everywhere and shit. Like,
Yeah, but
it looks really good.
I know
It
I'm
looks
very
really
happy the way it looks. I'm really happy. I tried to keep the same bird aesthetic because Raven
Fake.
mentioned this was really funny because when I had tweeted the thumbnail, I hadn't mentioned to him that I was even changing it. So, so the first time he saw it is when everybody did. So, and he was like, so I kind of feel like you're trying to push me out. And I'm like, why? He's like, because our names aren't on there anymore. I'm like, oh, fuck. No, but really what actually happened is that the way I started designing it, halfway through, I realized that I wouldn't have space for the names, and I was already, like, so close to being done. So what I did is I scrapped the background picture and decided to put a bird so that people would know that it's still the same thing.
I mean, after 5 months, if they don't know that it's the Dark Narrator and As the Raven Dreams in the DarkNest podcast, then they haven't listened to any episode prior to that.
Yeah, the nest part is you. So like,
Right.
it would be really weird if people were like, "Oh, he's gone." That's it.
They just show up and my pink aesthetic isn't there anymore in the chat.
Yeah.
Like, where the hell's Raven?
I just like between the point that I started the podcast, I was at a different place, graphic design wise.
Oh yeah.
So like I was at a different level, and now I'm at like a completely different level of it now. So I wanted to really showcase like how I've been doing everything and like what I really like doing now, and like my skill. And I want my channel to really show that. I want my channel to show that like I've been improving in more ways than just narrating and audio quality and stuff. So this is like one way I feel like I can do that.
Do me a favor. If you do decide to ever kick me off the podcast, just open this in MS Paint and just scratch off the word nest with the paintbrush.
Just crudely scratch it out.
Yes, like complete, like no graphical design, just MS Paint, paintbrush, scribble over it with your mouse, and just use that forever.
Scratch it off with like an eagle talon texture.
And when people ask about it, just don't say anything. It's like,
Right.
so where's
Hey,
Raven? It's like, don't worry about it.
No,
this
we're
is the dark podcast.
no. Where's Raven? I just shut the whole podcast off.
Every time they ask, it just shuts off.
Yeah.
Starts again.
Yeah.
Welcome to the Dark Podcast. That's the name. There was never any other name. Goodbye.
How's Raven? Who the fuck are you? No, it's just like I get really hostile. Just like, hey, where's Raven? Shut the fuck up.
Yeah, but then they'd come ask me like, "What happened between you and Dark?" And I'd be like, I don't
Who's Dark?
know, dude. No, I
I don't want to talk
That would
about
be
it.
so funny. It was like,
I have
who
no
the fuck are you talking about? Like, if we both did that and acted like, dude, if we did that for like a couple episodes and then had you and bring you back and just like played off this whole Mandela effect thing,
They just
that-
straight up Mandela it.
that would be so fucking funny. For like 2 episodes, we just don't have you on. I unfollow you on Twitter, you unfollow me, like, and I start one of the episodes. It's like, hi, this is the Dark Podcast, and this is episode 52. And as always, I'm your host, TD and Horror Stories, and today we're gonna be and they're like, wait, whoa, he didn't introduce Raven. Where's Raven? Hey, Dark, where's Raven? Hey, Raven reads. I had her on the other week, so she's not on this week. I will be having her on at some other point though. No, As the Raven Dreams, and I'm just like, who the fuck are you talking about, dude? It's just me. I have a guest on today, Lady Spookaria. Like, I don't know, like I don't.
Well, would you really call me a guest? Like, I just kind of invaded and it's like, yeah, I'm on here
I
now.
mean, I feel like as the first guest of our podcast, you're basically like the honorary co-host. Like, you just can
thank
kind of
you.
pop in whenever you feel it. I feel like everybody who has ever come on here has that ability now. Like, anybody who ever wants to just join or ask to be on, you don't even have to schedule it. Like, just pop in. Like,
Oh, you've opened the door now.
no, Jensen has already done it before I said that. So
That's true. That's true.
yeah. But I think it'd be really fucking funny. And then they go to you like, hey, what the fuck happened between you and Dark? He's acting like you don't, like, you guys are just not cool anymore. And you're like, hey, do I know you? And who are you?
Who?
There's a lot of people with dark in their name. You're gonna have to be really specific.
And it's
And
like the
TDN, I'm
TheDarkNarrator.
like, dude, I don't know who the fuck you're talking about for real.
It's like,
And then they just go batshit for like 2 weeks because for 2 episodes I just don't ever mention your name ever again. And then all of a sudden the next week I have a brand new thumbnail and I put your name back in, and they're just like, "Hi, this is TDN Horror Stories. This is Darkness Podcast, and this is episode 50 whatever. And as always, I have my feathered co-host as the Raven Dreams." And they're like, "What the fuck?"
That would be good. You could take it the whole mile. Go on like your own live stream where you're recording, and go to like my channel and be listening. Like, hey, who's this guy? He sounds pretty cool. I like him.
And everybody in the fucking comments are like, "What the fuck is going on?" It's so fucking funny. Oh my god, I want to do it so bad. Oh, I can't do it now because we talked about it, but
Give it a year or two.
oh, I will.
no, but you know, someone will remember. They'll be like, "Hey, do you remember this? We remember you talking about this."
Oh yeah, it would totally be like an ARG anime. It would totally be like our own.
He's going all ARG.
Yeah, it would basically be an ARG. I would keep it going for as long as possible. That's how you get people to watch the fucking podcast.
This guy lost his fucking mind.
They both did. Like, dude, what the fuck is Mandela effect? Like, proven. That confirmed. Oh my god, that'd be so fucking funny. I've always wanted to do something like that, like created by our own ARG, but I don't have the brain power to think of like all the intricacies of everything. Like, these people really have like some creative fucking minds to do all this shit. Like the people who do like the TikTok and the Snapchat things where they're like pretending that the world is like fucked, like the sun vanished and like the where the hell is everybody? Like he walks around like these what should be populated areas, like in midday, and there's nobody. I'm like, how the fuck is he capturing this shit? I don't know.
Aliens.
Aliens. That's the only answer. Aliens. Lack of
it's
chicky
always
nuggies. Starvation.
He's a beta tester for Earth 2.
They just took him out of his house when he was sleeping and placed him on the other planet. Just like, what the and it looks exactly like his. They just place him in the same room.
Hold up. That'd be an awesome creepypasta. Someone write that.
Oh my god,
I'm a
that would
beta
be
tester for Earth 2.
Bro! I could probably get Sicarius to do something like that.
I think he absolutely would.
That's a Sicarius. No, that's totally like Sicarius's area right there. Like, he would totally fucking write something like that. I'm going to. Oh my god, I'm gonna message him after the podcast. Be like, yo, I got a fucking idea. You should definitely write this. I don't even have to narrate it. Just please write something like this. I think I totally think you could too, Raven. 100%.
Do it, Raven. Do it.
I feel like you could do it. I just don't feel like you could do it at the length that they do it, because they like to write like really long stories, like about one topic.
Right.
And like I feel like that's what Sicarius's area is like, I have a 45-minute window. I'm going to fill it with as much shit about this one thing as I can, and also somehow make it super fucking interesting.
Right.
You're a really talented writer, dude. I totally think you could take it in an avenue, just not that one.
The last story I wrote was like 6,000 words, so.
I loved
like
Saint Nick is Sick, by the
Raven.
way. I thought that was so fucking fun.
Oh,
That was exactly what I wanted from like I didn't want to do a long story. I just wanted to like have something put out before the Christmas collab. And I couldn't find anything that was short and also good, because a lot of the Christmas stories fucking suck. So when I asked it when you had a Christmas story, you're like, yeah, I have one. I'm like, oh, thank God. It's just like, I was like, I wonder how long it is. And you're like, it's like 2,000 words. I'm like, oh, I got like an 8-minute video out of this, and all I gotta fucking do is I'll do this right now. I literally did it that night. Like, I was like, fuck it, we're doing it tonight because it's so short and it's so good, dude. It was a breeze to read. Like,
I'm just glad that you liked it.
It only took it's a 7-8 minute story. It only took me like 9 minutes to narrate. Like,
nice.
And that's a lot coming from me, who fucks up all the time. And a 5-minute story sometimes, when it's when it's written horribly, could take me like fucking a half hour just for that 5-minute story. But yours was like a 7-8 minute story. It only took me like 9 minutes to make. That's why it came out so fast, because it did not take me that long to read it.
Well, right, because I remember you mentioned that you asked if you could read it. I'm like, dude, you can narrate anything I write. I don't care.
Yeah, but I'm like, bro, I've been doing this for forever. It's like autopilot.
No, I know, but I was just gonna say, like, like 20 minutes after I said that, you sent me the thumbnail.
Yeah. When you asked if when you said I could narrate it, I was laying in bed texting you from my phone, and as soon as you said yes, I popped out of my fucking bed and turned on my computer and just started.
Nice.
And then within the hour, the video was up.
Nice.
Yeah, that was. It was just such a good story, and it was short. It had its point, and that was it.
Thank you. I wrote that because Saint Nick is sick rhymed.
Sometimes that just happens. I mean, the way I used to write my stories was just thinking of a title and then just try to base something off of it.
Yeah, I do that.
You should write more dark.
You should.
I haven't written.
It's your
in a long
turn
time.
to be peer pressured now.
I haven't written in a very long time. I've had a bunch of story ideas, but like I never could figure out how to flesh them out. Like, I don't know. I have a lot of ideas. I think the last story that I posted that was mine was last year's Christmas collab, which is I know why. There's a reason I don't believe in Santa anymore, or something like that. It was basically like this Santa creature came down the chimney, and he was like decrepit. He had a Santa hat and a Santa beard, but he had like the features of like this like disgusting, skinny, scrawny like creature, and everything was all elongated, and he crawled down the chimney, and it was really weird. I really liked it though.
So pretty much what he would look like after living for this many years.
Yeah, basically. And the thing was, the whole premise was, when he was younger, his parents would always hide the presents in the closet or whatever before they would only put them out in the morning as he woke up, because basically the whole idea was, why did they always hide the presents from me, and there was no presents under the tree when they went to bed or when they woke up, but only when they woke up is when they would get the presents. And it was basically like their parents had left to go out to eat, and they would bring some food home, or they were doing some last minute Christmas shopping or something like that, and they come home and they went out, and they should have been back by then. And he was sitting in the living room watching TV, and he heard something coming down the chimney, and he saw like a decrepit long hand come out and start patting the bottom of the tree where the tree skirt was, and feeling around for presents, presumably. And it comes out of the chimney, and he's like disgusting, and he has like a decrepit old beard and a worn dirty hat, and he's like crawling on all fours, and the kid runs, and the thing grabs his sister and like shoves her in the sack, and basically like the whole, and he goes and he runs up to his room, and he realizes that the snow outside is piled up to like the second story window, and he was like, no fucking wonder my parents haven't come home. Like, there's no way that they could have survived this. Or even gotten through this. So basically, like, Santa kind of made like a wall of snow around his house to like block everything in.
Nice.
And the whole premise of the story is that Santa doesn't deliver gifts; he steals them. And if he can't steal the gifts, he steals the children.
Ooh, nice.
Yeah. So it wasn't my best work, because like the way I wrote it didn't really make sense in some of the points, but yeah.
That sounds like a mix between like Grinch and Krampus.
Yeah, it basically was. Yeah.
That's awesome.
I really like the premise, and I'm probably gonna go back and rewrite it, because I didn't really like how I wrote it afterwards, because there was a couple of like plot holes. It didn't really make any sense, because the whole idea I had in my head was that he blocked them in with snow, but it kind of just made it seem like, oh, he just made it snow everywhere, like 25 feet high. And I couldn't really explain why. Like that's basically what it was, and I couldn't really explain why he was stealing presents, or like, and there wasn't really a lot of build up, and I don't know. I really wanted to make a last minute Christmas story, and that's what came out of it. My favorite one that I've ever written, though, it was also one that's on my channel. I think that I posted at the beginning of this year, actually. And it was... What was it called? I don't remember what it was called. But basically, this guy wakes up and he's starting to notice, like that everybody around him is starting to act like robotic, like weird. And then he notices on his wife's head, when he's coming on the back of his wife's head, he notices a zipper when he's coming down, and like from the stairs. And she's like, "Hey, honey, I'm gonna go and do some last minute grocery shopping before dinner tonight. Do you want me to pick you up anything from the store?" And he's like, "No, honey, I'm good." "Hey, what's that on the back of your head?" And she like stares at him for a sec, like just like blankly and shit, expressionless. And then she walks into the living room and she's like, "Hey, honey, I'm gonna do some last minute grocery shopping. Do you want anything from the store?" And he's like, "What the fuck?"
All right, it's interesting.
And he starts noticing, like, everywhere he goes, like the people he thought he knew, like the fast food driver takes his card and turns around and like sees the zipper on the back of his head. The dog that, like, the old man who usually walks the dog and the old man both have zippers. And he's like, "What the fuck is going on?" So he gets and that morning the wife was cooking something in the pot. So he goes home and gets there before his wife does, and notices his wife's wedding ring inside the pot, because he checks it to see what it is, and he notices, like, it's like a stew of some sort, and he notices the wife's wedding ring. And faintly behind him, he hears a zipper unzipping. So
Creepy.
yeah, the whole idea is like something invaded this place, maybe aliens, it's up to interpretation, but they all stole everybody's skin. It's like Invasion of the Body Snatchers, but like way worse.
Yeah, that's actually quite unsettling.
Yeah, it's fucking freaky.
I was looking to see if I could find it on your channel.
It's somewhere. I don't think it was this year. It could have been this year, but I don't think it
I'm
was.
looking in the wrong direction.
All right, you two, everyone. I need to go. I'm hungry.
Okay, bye.
Really?
I love you.
Sorry we couldn't give you no chicken
Bye.
nuggets.
I know. I will. I might pop back in if you guys are still on, but I don't know.
Okay. Well, we love you and goodbye.
I'm. You both are cursed now with because you're lacking nuggies. But the curse will be good because I don't.
It's a good curse.
I'm hungry. Yes, it's a good
Go
kind.
get something to eat.
All right, bye.
Bye.
I found it, by the way, Raven. I sent it to you.
So, okay. Shit.
Yeah, it was over a year ago. Never mind. It was March 25th, 2019.
I found another one on your channel by you, so.
I don't even remember that one.
Called Whispers.
Oh, yeah. I do remember Whispers. Do I?
How close was I? Okay, I was like 5 lines up. I was about to hit that one, so I would have found it.
Oh, no, I remember what this was. Basically, this is a story of an experience I had where I started hearing, like, some fucking thing whispering outside my window.
Mm-hmm.
And the whole story was, like, I keep hearing whispers outside my window, and I keep running outside to see who it is. And finally, I'm just like, you know what? It's fucking nothing. And then I started listening more closely and realized that the whispers aren't coming from the outside. It's coming from my closet. And there's a whole nother basis to that, like a whole nother thing, but you're going to have to listen to it to understand. But
well, I'm going to, for sure.
I do have some good ideas. It's just like my writing is not all there sometimes.
Sure. Well, if you ever have any idea that you think you could pass my way, I'll absolutely write you something for it.
I do have a couple of things, yeah.
And it will be exclusive for you because I love you.
Oh my god! It's gonna be exclusive for me.
You're such a pretty boy.
I'm such a pretty boy.
We should never do that again.
Yeah, no.
Anyway, yeah. I was gonna say something. Totally forgot what the hell it was, though.
I'm sorry. I kind of rambled for a while.
They're good. It was you gave a fantastic synopsis to your stories.
Post the video here. I have to go into the actual chat. Give me a second.
I got it, man. I got it.
I'm already here.
I got you, bro.
It's already
done.
there.
I just posted it.
Well, mine came first. What?
Nope, mine didn't. Mine did.
That's fucked up because on my chat where I sent it, it shows me first and then you second. But on the actual one in Streamlabs, it shows you and then me. That's fucked up.
Yeah, because you's a bitch.
You's a bitch. Fuck you. Yeah, because you're a fucking bitch. Like, okay.
Oh wait, no, it could be because the time zone.
Fuck off, alright? I said the wrong thing. We had been talking for...
I know, dude. It was 4 hours.
Yeah.
I'm just messing with you. I'm sorry.
I said the wrong thing, and I was so mad because I realized afterwards, I was like, I was trying to explain something, and I had the right idea, but I said the wrong fucking thing at first, so your interpretation was completely off by what I said. And I was like, fuck!
Right.
I knew what I was saying. That's why I was getting frustrated, because I was like, I know what I'm talking about. I'm not trying to say you don't. Like, I'm trying to... I know...
I'm just... Again, like I said, that was right before we started this podcast. I just remember it because you're all like, it's because you're in a different time zone. I'm like, that has nothing to do with network traffic. What are you talking about?
Yeah, I
doing
was
there, bro?
totally just like, I meant pinging.
It's okay.
I meant pinging. The whole time I meant pinging, and I said time zones. I was like, why the fuck is he so mad? I heard it in your voice that you were getting frustrated.
Say it wasn't mad. I was just like, you're wrong, bro. Stop, you're wrong.
And I'm like, no, I'm not, because I genuinely thought I was saying the right fucking thing. Oh my god. I genuinely thought, I was like, dude, I don't understand. He says he's in networking. I don't fucking understand how he's missing what I'm saying. I don't get it. And then I thought about it later. I'm like, oh my fucking god, I said time zones. Oh, why did I say time zones?
It wasn't enough to dissuade me from talking to you, so...
I just felt so dumb. Because I was like, no, he was totally right. If I was actually meaning time zones, I would totally have been off. I was totally wrong. I wish I could go back and be like, no, it was picking the fucking servers and stuff. You were like, yeah. Like, oh, okay, cool. But no, I was like, fucking time zones. That's why my message is coming after hers. Fucking dumb. That was... I can only imagine how stupid that sounded to you. Like... Because if someone said that, that would have been so fucking retarded. Oh my god.
You know, it was... It wasn't the fact that you said it.
It was the fact that I was fighting it.
It was the fact that you were so confidently incorrect.
Yeah. And that's why I was so mad, because I was like, I don't fucking understand why he's not getting what I'm saying. Because I've experienced the thing, so I know I'm not totally wrong, but maybe I'm just like kind of wrong, and I'm like, and he's just he's like pinpointing that, and and then I thought about I watched the live stream over again after it ended, and I'm like, oh my god. Fucking retarded.
I remember you messaged me on Twitter like the next day, like, hey, I meant pings, not time zones. I'm like, that makes a lot more sense.
Yeah, it was so fucking stupid. I felt so dumb. Oh my god.
Alright.
I just like I think about that conversation a lot because it was for anybody who doesn't know and who wasn't there. I think it was like Anime sent a message or something, and I was reading it before you, or you were reading it before me, and I can't.
Was reading it 'cause she and I are in the same time zone.
Shut up.
No, I'm serious. That was because you had said that, and I'm like, yeah, we're in the same time zone, but it doesn't matter.
Right.
But go on. Sorry. Because you meant like server ping, and we were
server ping. You were pinging the same server, so it was obviously receiving to you faster than it was receiving to me. So, I basically had said like, oh, it's because you're in the same time zone. What I meant was like you're in the same area. Like what I meant to say was like you're in the same basic area, so you're probably pinging the same servers.
Right.
But the way I said it was like, oh, it's because you're in the same time zone, so you both see it faster.
Right.
And that's
You're trying to
Because I
explain
remember
lag to me,
because I
and then you're talking
remember
about time zones.
because I remember like how I thought. Is what I remember how I thought about it. I remember in my head it was like, oh, they're in the same area, same time zone, probably pinging the same server. But all I said was, oh, you're in the same time zone. But my whole thought process was completely different. Like,
Yes.
oh my god.
And
That,
like,
yeah.
and as you were saying, and as if anyone doesn't know, this was pretty much the first real conversation I had ever had with him.
Oh,
Like, he and I had kind of chatted on Twitter,
and this was like the
such.
first like hour of the podcast, so this was
Right.
not a good like introduction at all.
Right. So this was the beginning to a 4-hour conversation that he and I had. So in my mind, I'm like, God, this guy doesn't know networking. He is so confident in his wrong answer that I am going to let it go and keep talking to him, I guess. And then I did.
Yeah, and then after like the next day I was like, "Hey man, I'm really sorry that if I frustrated you. I fucked up and said the wrong thing and kept running with it, not realizing what I said. And I totally meant this." And you're like, "Oh my god, that makes so much more sense."
I remember I was like, see, that makes a lot more sense than what you were saying.
Yeah, I was like, if I just would have fucking said pinging instead of time zones, like I could have had a way easier conversation.
If you just would have said lag, I would have known what you meant.
Yeah. Yeah. But I wanted to, because the way you talked about it was like intricate, so I wanted to try to be more intricate too. But in turn, I didn't actually say all of the things I should have said. All I said was the wrong thing. I should have started with like, time zones, probably same area pinging. But all I said was time zones, fuck you, I'm right.
Like Patience just said, the both of them, he is so wrong. We should do a podcast.
Basically. Yeah. Oh my god. That's basically the whole basis for the podcast is like, fuck this, I don't know what's going on. Like, it's so random and I love it. I love it. I love doing this every week. Like, even when like I don't want to, I know I have to, and then when I get into it, like, I'm loving it.
Yeah. In my head, I've always basically described this podcast as just like coffee shop banter.
Yeah, basically. There's no real structure to it. Like, I think we have way more structure when we have guests because like I want the guests to feel comfortable, and I want them to be here for like a reason, but also not here for a reason. Like, I want them to be here because we would really want to talk to them, but I also want to like pick their brain because like they all have special things about them. So
Right.
yeah.
But I mean, well, it makes sense to, ask those questions like, oh, how did you start in this and blah, 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 and where do you see yourself? It just, in the end, I think all of our podcasts do, I don't want to say devolve, but devolve is the only way I could think of it, into that coffee shop banter where we start talking
for
about
sure.
our favorite
After
movies
we
and-
get the guest comfortable, that's really
Right.
where like the laid backness really comes in when we have guests, because like we're trying to, I want the guest to know that I'm interested in them and like interested in how they became who they are. So afterwards, they feel just comfortable talking like we're just best friends. Because now I know more about them, and I'm clearly trying to get to know more about them, so they, in turn, get more comfortable with us.
Right.
Same thing happened with Let's Read. Like, in the beginning, he was very, like, choppy with how he's talking, because he's obviously a very, very polite guy. And it's just, like, these two random dudes. Like, one he's never heard of, and one kind of made a couple thumbnails. Like, so it's not really, like, but he was very polite about it. But as soon as we started getting into like the meat of the conversation is really where he started opening up. So it happens
right
with
about
everyone.
where he dropped his first F-bomb was right around the time.
Right around the time where he realized he doesn't have to like keep up an appearance here.
Right.
Like he can just be who he wants to be, and that's exactly what I want from this. I kind of learned how to interview people from Sean Evans, who does Hot Ones.
Sure.
Because he found a way to basically rip everything apart that is a celebrity and make them human, by forcing them to eat ridiculously spicy wings and destroying everything, because all they can focus on is how spicy that is. So anything that comes out of their mouth is pure.
Right.
So I wanted to do that without torturing my guests.
Well, more so without the physical ability to torture the guests.
Right. I want to let these people know that they can talk about whatever they feel like. because I want it to always be like a laid back thing. I never want this to feel like I'm forcing anything. Sometimes I am, but it depends on like how quickly we start. Because some guests like Raven Reeds,
Yeah.
and Josh and Zacharias and Lady Spicaria, it was just like just to name a few, and Swamp as well, and Jensen and everything. Like they really like they're really talkative individuals.
Mm-hmm.
So getting them on the podcast was almost like yes, like because like they just know how to respond to people. And that's like it's not a bad thing if you can't, but
Right.
like having them on was like really special because they were ready to go. Like Swamp was able to carry. That was probably one of our longest ones. I know HBN was our longest because he was up
Yes.
to like 2 hours. But that was more because I hadn't talked to him in like over a year.
Freaking Josh just up and disappearing,
Oh my
as
god!
anime said.
And I knew that
I
would
love it,
be an
though.
easy podcast because he's like my best friend in like out of all of this. So
Right.
so
No,
I knew
agree.
that.
Like sorry.
No, go ahead. I wasn't really saying
Oh.
anything.
No, I was gonna say we've had a lot of good people, and I completely agree that a lot of the ones who have that I guess characteristic charisma, like
They're just
like
ready to
Swamp
jump in a they're
and
just ready to
Jensen.
jump in a conversation and say whatever.
Yeah, they're the ones that just rip into it.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas the ones who are a little more reserved, like let's read. Yeah, no, and I like that. I think that we've done a good job on this, and I'm going to pat us on the back here and say that I think that our formatting and our ability to talk and the demeanor in which we both carry ourselves has definitely formed this podcast into something more than just let's talk to people.
Yeah, it's definitely its own breed of something. I really can't
Sure.
tell because like there's definitely really no structure to it, but in
Mhm.
that has created its own structure. It now
Right.
has its own structure because it's structureless, and we do it all the time. So now it has its own thing. We don't have to worry about really a script. Like I keep telling people, like I'll jot down a couple of questions, but that really only ever comes up if I can't think of anything on the spot. If I will never read a script if I don't have to.
Right.
If I could keep going, which I usually can, I won't. I just won't ever read it. Like sometimes I'll like pull from the questions, like maybe I can form one out of this, but that's really it. Only ever happens when I can't think of anything on the spot.
Right. No, I agree.
I want it to be as fun as possible. I don't want this to become something like oh, I gotta do a fucking podcast today. So,
Yeah.
and it really it never has been like the first 17 episodes. Nothing. I really haven't been dreading a podcast. Except when I was sick. I'm not going to lie. I wanted to talk to Let's Read, but not that day.
Right. No, I get you.
Bro, I was fucking miserable. Like, we got to have him back on because I hated that podcast so much. Like, I loved having him on, and I thought he was the sweetest dude ever, but my energy was not up to par. And I really hated that episode. It'll stay up, but like I was not a fan of that.
Yeah, please do keep it up. I don't want that one to go.
No. That's a fucking that is a historical landmark for me. I'm never getting rid of that.
I mean, my name is in something with Joel's, so yeah, pretty
Yeah.
much.
You could definitely look at it like that. It's definitely something to remember for sure. I mean,
I think
that is the greatest thing about this to me, and it's going to be a little sappy to say, but in a way, having you on here has not only broke you out of a little shell that you had, no pun intended, because you're a bird, but it broke you out of like a social shell. Like you've always been nice to people and you've always been willing to work with people, but this really brought you out of this podcast. I feel like really helped you socially with just being able to talk to anybody on the spot because you've been getting a lot better with it over the last like few episodes.
Right.
And I feel like you really, when you have something you want to talk about, you can talk longer than I can. So I really feel like that is a huge thing, and I'm really glad that I got to do that for you. But not only that is that I got to bring some people that you really, really wanted to meet and talk to and pick their brain about. So that really means a lot to me that I was able to do that for you because you talked to me about it. The other day or maybe a couple weeks ago, you said something like that. You were like, dude, I don't know what I would have had a chance to sit down with Swamp Dweller and talk to him, or let alone Let's Read. Like,
Right.
you had been watching Let's Read for a very long time, and now
Yep.
you actually got to sit down and like talk to him and pick his brain about a couple things. So I think out of everything, that is like my favorite thing that we have gained from doing this. Is like being
Yeah.
able to give you the space to really grow and like show you that you have this crazy potential that I want you to fulfill, and you're already doing it. It's not like you haven't reached or even close. Like, you have. But like, I'm so glad that I got to watch you this year become like this. It's really emotional for me because like I had seen like this crazy like potential in you at the beginning when we first met, and I really feel like you've pushed this boundary that like mentally I have set for you, and like you broke it, like you just totally shattered it, and like it was really really cool to see your journey this year from like my seat, which is like I tried to keep you as close to me as I possibly could because I was just so hoping that you would just continue to grow, and you have more than just numbers.
Right.
You know, like you have grown into such a, I don't know. It's a force. It really is. And I am so proud to have been able to catch you when I found you and just like really get to watch you grow, because at the end of this year, regardless of size, dude, you blow me out of the fucking water. And whether you say no or whatever, it doesn't matter to me. I'm never going to think otherwise. You are by far better than most people on this platform, narrator-wise and person-wise. And I am just so fucking proud of you this year and to call you my friend, period.
Yeah. I cannot stress enough, and as I've said to you, and more so in that private statement that you had just said, that I would not have the mentality, the confidence, and the ability to do things in the manner in which I do if you and I hadn't developed this both personal and professional relationship, this duality that we have. Because you are, in, like, we're just going to shoot each other's horns here. In my opinion, you are probably one of the most genuine people I've ever met here. And I know that you had mentioned that, like, you see me as the raw talent, and that's fine. Every time, okay, the times that you have narrated my stories
Mm-hmm.
have done more for me in my confidence and my desire to continue writing, continue narrating, than almost anything else. Whenever you asked me if you could narrate The Last Sunset and then I fucking listened to it, dude, you almost, I'm not gonna lie, 29-year-old guy, I was almost in tears because I heard my own art become something more than what it originally was. I have been writing since like 2013, 2014, and none of my stuff that I've written has ever been, in my opinion, successful. It's been liked, it's been people saying, it's good, but it's never been successful. So to see you narrate something that I wrote and it to be so spectacularly done, and done in a manner that just made me legit emotional. It really did, because you, like I said, you are the most genuine person I've ever met here. Not gonna lie, you are incredibly talented, and you know that I think that because I have told you.
You tell me all the fucking time, yeah.
I mean, thinking back, dude, whenever you first got your new job, you were talking about how you couldn't really keep up. What did I tell you? I said, you're not quitting. I said, if you need me to make videos for you for a week or two, tell me. I will.
Bro,
do
I
it.
asked you like I think that was the whole point when I was saying before the podcast where I was like, Boris actually let me use his stories to fill in gaps if I ever needed to. That was the point where I was like, bro, I need your fucking help. And you were like, I already told you. You wouldn't even have to ask. And within the next day, we had a video up.
Yeah. Because I'm not letting you quit. Like, I know, and I don't think you will, but
No,
I know that
I
things
never
have been
will.
rough. I know that things have been rough, but I really think that ever since, and maybe I could say that too, in your growth, ever since that moment where you were talking about how you couldn't keep up and you didn't think you could do it, and I told you you weren't stopping. And I know you probably had that mentality, and I didn't really affect that as much as I may think I did.
No, I
but
really didn't. At that point, I was really feeling like if I couldn't figure out how to make it work, it was going to fall apart by the end of the year.
Well, I mean, Okay, fair enough. What
Mm-hmm.
I was gonna say is I think that since that happened, you and your mentality and your attitude towards this has shifted. I know that you've had your history with the stuff, and
Mm-hmm.
you have problems with people. Not that was a bad way to say that.
No, no, no.
You've had you've
I
had
do
issues
for
in the
sure.
past. You've had issues in the past, and I know you look at some of the community kind of in a shaded light. That's fine. I do too. We all do as we get into this. That's fine. But I really think that ever since then, ever since that point in time, your mentality has shifted. And that's why whenever I told you the other day after the podcast, like I really am excited for the future for both my channel, your channel, and us as again a
Mm-hmm.
duality, a collective, and our future goals and intents and how things will go for us. Legit exciting. I am beyond excited.
Yeah, no, I 100% agree. This year has taken some things away from me, but given me more things than I ever could have hoped for.
Mm-hmm.
It has given me limitless confidence in myself and what I feel like I have the ability to do. Like I know what I'm capable of now, and I never thought I ever would. I never thought I would ever figure out who I was, and I have. I really have. I really truly
Yeah.
feel like I know what my capabilities are as a narrator, as a graphic designer, as a friend, as a lover. Like I just know who I am now, and I know what I want,
Yeah.
and I feel like I actually can do that. I really feel like I can grab whatever I want by the fucking balls and just pull it. Like I know what I can do, and all of that that I have now, and all of the confidence I have now is from you. It's from anime. It's from all my friends. It's from Josh. It's from fucking people like Zacharias who are just so fucking supportive of this side of the community and able to just give their works of art to us to use and and change so that we can make another form of art out of it. Like it's just 2019 was the point of my career that I felt like my perception of the community was starting to get soured to the point where I would never look at it the same way.
Right.
And because of like the audience, because of like the way the community was acting at the time, it just kind of felt like I was in it on my own, and like anybody who I had at the time, that's really all I would ever have.
Mm-hmm.
But this year has shown me, even through the shittiest moments, you can gain some of the best friends and the best people that you can call your family, no matter what. And this year, I have gained so many people that for hopefully ever that I will have these people to rely on, and I will have these people to support me, and I will have these people that I can work with. And it's just, I should be the most depressed I have ever been in my life right now, but I'm not, because of people like you and because of people like anime. I'm so fucking grateful that I have you guys, because I would be falling apart right now because of what's going on.
Yeah.
It
That support structure is critical,
Yeah.
especially in times like this. I know. I trust me. You and I relate a lot more on that than you may think. To be honest with
No,
you.
I know everybody has their struggles, and I know everybody has their traumatic experiences, and I never really thought how it would feel.
Mm-hmm.
Like I never really looked at any of this as something that it would happen right now. But it really puts in perspective the loss that I have taken.
Right.
That what I have is way more than I thought it was. I honestly thought, besides the couple of people that I had before she passed, I thought that's all I had. But after she passed, I realized that I will never be alone again because
Yeah.
of you guys. And I'm trying not to get emotional here because like it really means a lot to me.
Hey, man,
But
you named this one reflecting. So emotional is how it has to be sometimes.
but
Just saying.
I I've always tried to be confident and strong and tried to bring people up, but I never thought that I would have to be the one to be brought up and really like supported. And I honestly didn't think if I had to be, I would be able to be, because I didn't really think I had more than a couple of people. But
Mm-hmm.
it's not the amount of people that you have, it's the support that those people give, which is fucking immense. So
Yeah.
I want to thank you Raven. I want to thank Anime and just everybody in this community and everybody in this audience, everybody in the chat. I want to thank my grandmother for real for giving me the last 7 years of my life to become something. Because without her, especially, I would definitely not be here. She gave me this room. She gave me the roof over my head. She gave me the privacy to be whoever I wanted to be. And because of her and her laptop, especially, I created my first YouTube video called J Kirk TV back in December of 2012. And from that moment on, it was a road to be right where I am now. So more than anybody, I have to thank her for everything she's ever given me, especially what she's given me this year, which is so much confidence and so much support. Thank you guys, for real.
I mean, thank you, man. Like I said, and I agree with everything you just said. And I'm not gonna add to it because really you said everything best. To be honest, um, in much the same way, 2020 was a very strange year for me as well.
Yeah.
I mean, I won't get into backstory because I don't want to pull away from what you just said because that was incredibly heartfelt.
No,
and
no, no,
warming.
no, 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 no. Say whatever you gotta say, bro. Don't. It's fine.
Well, much. Okay. I mean,
go ahead.
I guess I'll just take it away here. Much like you, this year has been development of me finding who I want to be. Prior to the creation of Raven, I was basically in a career path that I disliked, that I desperately wanted to never do again.
And that was the whole government thing?
No, that was just security in general. After getting okay, so I don't know if you know anything about corporate America.
Honestly, I really don't know anything about that shit.
It's shit. It's fucking shit.
It's actual shit. Yeah.
You will be thrown under the bus at a moment's notice from middle management to tell you that you're shit, so they can tell their boss that they did a great job. You'll be in my personal experience. You'll be misdirected. You'll be told to do something that wasn't actually what's wanted by people above your manager, just so they can tell you did it wrong. And in my 6 years of working for the company I worked for, after spending 6 years getting a master's degree in information security, I desperately hated it. I wanted out of there so bad. Because middle management was terrible. I loved my job. I loved what I did, but I could not stand management. So to be completely honest, my entire existence took a major shift in, let's say 2015. Things got really rough, and I mean, I made it through it. And then around 2017, ironically, whenever I lost my grandmother, who basically raised me as a child, shit went really hard for me. Okay. So 2017, May, I lost my grandma. Killed me inside. I didn't have that support net. That's fine. I got through it. End of 2018, I got fired from my career and had no income. That killed me inside. Had to go on unemployment, which is one of those things where whenever you're 27 and you're in your first career and you get thrown into the unemployment, the pack of that wolves, it kills you.
Yeah.
Because my entire life I was told if you're on unemployment, then you've messed up.
Yeah.
Getting fired from my first job in the career, it was terrible. I was unemployed for the longest time, didn't get anything. Finally got a job in 2019. Middle of the year, did that job, and then got laid off at the beginning of this year, right before the pandemic. So what I'm saying is, the past few years have been rough in me finding who exactly I am. But whenever I created this stupid fucking bird, no, I'm serious.
Yeah.
I didn't know what I was doing. All I knew was that I listened to narrators a long time ago. I loved the stuff. I had a microphone. Fuck it, let's try. So I did it. And whenever I created this little persona, my original cartoon bird with the stupid key in its mouth over my shitty backdrop that was just terrible, I essentially created my path to who I am now and who I want to be. And I am beyond excited for that. And it's been a huge trial of self-discovery. It really has.
Yeah. I know exactly how you feel.
At the beginning of the year, I applied for a ton of security jobs. Like I said, then the pandemic happened. I'm not much of a religious person, but I took that as a sign that, hey, just because the job market here in Kansas is shit. The Kansas City area is dead. Security is dead. There used to be like 60 jobs that would be put out there on LinkedIn a week, and now it's one every couple weeks to 3 weeks.
Damn.
So it's just dead. But I just hit a point where it's like, okay, fine, I give up. I'm not doing that anymore. And I am beyond thankful now to have you guys, you friends, all of you people who are amazing, support me in doing this and show me that it's always worth it. And while it may be a bit of a side note here, obviously I am beyond thankful to have Patience by my side in all this.
Patience is great. She's such a supportive person.
She has done nothing but support me since day one. And she knows how much I love her, but she will never know how much I appreciate the fact that she has not sat down and told me, hey, get off your ass, quit making videos and go get a job. The fact that she's able to cover the bills with what she has and still, we're fine. We're okay. There's some other issues that are problematic, like my credit cards can't get paid, but I don't give a shit about them. Fuck them.
Yeah, fuck them.
Fuck
those guys. Sorry.
The fact that she has always been consistent in telling me, do what you want to do, and has never told me to do otherwise, and has consistently supported me, and my phone is going off, I apologize.
It's okay.
Has consistently supported me is the greatest thing I could ever ask for in my 29 years of existence. So overall this, while I'm thankful to all of you, I do honestly want to say and put it on this video record that I am thankful for her for being the beautiful and amazing person that she is and being a part of my life for these 13 and a half years that she has penned.
Damn.
Right. So
she was there for your whole fucking security career.
She's been there. Dude, she was there whenever I was a junior in high school.
Right. Yeah, I totally
That's
forgot about that.
Together.
Yeah, because I kept calling you guys high school sweethearts.
Yep. I was a junior. She was a sophomore.
Damn, man. Yeah, I can totally understand the besides my grandmother, I can totally understand the crutch that becomes your partner, because without anime, dude, I don't really know how I would have gotten through this year or last year, to be honest. For most of 2019 is when I met her. I met her in February of 2019, I believe, and we started dating in May. But we instantly clicked. We instantly became like really great friends, and then I just don't know what it was. I had this overwhelming urge to like love her. I just don't know what it was. It was just like, she gets me. She listens to me. She completely understands me. She likes all these fucking things, and she's just so sweet. She's always so kind and always supporting everybody. And last year I kind of made it my derogative just to fucking support everything that she has going on, and like try to help her and try to have her realize that she finally has somebody to listen to. But the turn of this year, it really started becoming her doing the same thing for me. But last year, especially, I know this is reflecting for 2020, but this really leads into this year. She gave me the full confidence to start making music. Like she denies it to this day. She'll say like, no, you always had it in you, but I just kind of gave you a little nudge. No, it was not a fucking little nudge. I remember 2 years ago when I sat in front of the same mic over at my friend's house that I record for music all the time now, that he had to open the window and give me a fucking water bottle because I was about to pass out. That's how fucking nervous I was. There was no way without her that I was going to ever do it.
Right.
And she gave me this... Dude, I don't even think I would have met you when I did if it wasn't for her. Because she was the reason I met all these fucking people. She has been not only my crutch, but my gateway into all this shit that I never knew I had to care about or wanted to care about. And especially this year, her family... This year has been really a struggle with money, like for a lot of people, me included.
Absolutely.
And there was a lot of times where my job was only giving me like $150, $200 a week, so I was really running out of money because I had to keep giving that for bills because I wasn't about to let my grandma like fucking completely spend all of her shit. So I was supporting my grandma, and anime started getting together with her family to start sending me money through Cash App so I could eat at lunch. And then one day I told her I have no food in the house. I have nothing. I haven't had food in the house for 2 days. We really have just been eating bread and like water. And she's like, give me 5 minutes. I was like, all right. So she calls me and she's like, you like Domino's? I'm like, yeah, you know I like Domino's. I'm like, no, do you like Domino's? Does your family like Domino's? I'm like, they'll eat Domino's if they have to. Like, they don't really prefer it. Like, they'll probably go somewhere else. But yeah, she's like, okay. We're gonna do something. And I'm like, what do you mean? What's going on? She's like, this $25 thing. It gives you like 3 pizzas, a bunch of breadsticks, some soda, some sandwiches, and like some sweet stuff. And I'm like, that sounds yummy. She's like, okay. So we go away, and I still don't know what's going on. And she texts me, and she's like, all right, the order is on its way. I'm like, what the fuck? Her family pitched in to get my family a shit ton of food from Domino's. This food lasted us like 4 or 5 days. Enough to get the money to get more groceries. So yeah, we survived off of like Domino's pizza for 4 or 5 days, but it was better than fucking bread and water.
I mean, yeah, dude.
Like, and it wasn't like just the regular Domino's. She got us the pan-made pizza, which in my opinion is the best one they have. So
Nice.
This girl has fed me. Her family has fed me. Has fed my family. Her family has fed my family. Her family has made sure I was able to eat when I had no money. This girl and her family has become my family. And without her, especially this year, without her, honestly, this podcast wouldn't exist. My channel would have died. I wouldn't be here. All because of her. She has been my crutch for the last year and a half of my life. And I fucking love her to death. And she'll never, ever know how much I appreciate everything. You were probably there. Were you there for? Yeah. You were there for the Christmas Eve stream, right?
Yeah, I was there for I think the last half of it.
It was such a blur of emotions that I can't really remember most of the stream. So
yeah, to the end, yeah.
But you were there for the $120 that her fucking sister's fiance sent.
Mm-hmm.
And then you were there for Dea sending $60. I think you sent $5. I think Vidas sent $5. That was like $200 something in under an hour.
Right.
And like, the support is crazy. Really insane.
Just to be honest, if I had more money, dude, I would have pitched.
No. Nobody had to donate anything.
No, I know, and I apologize, and I hope you know this is my biggest character flaw. Whenever I say things, I'm not saying it to imply anything. I'm just stating facts that if I had more, dude, I would have. You have no idea, and that was a beautiful stream. To be honest with you, that was very emotional.
It really hit me hard because like I didn't think Christmas Eve or Christmas was gonna feel like Christmas, and Christmas didn't really feel like Christmas. It didn't feel like a regular day, but it didn't feel like Christmas because of my grandmother not being there. But all of you guys, and afterwards, me and Anime watched Polar Express, which she never saw it before, so that was really cool to show her. But on top of watching that movie with her, and that stream, and then before the stream I had my whole family come over and I cooked them all steaks and we had dinner and we sat down and we talked, and having that stream really, like, you guys, until Christmas morning, you guys really made it feel like Christmas again when I should have been crying in my bed. So thank you all for everything that you've done for me, because I would not be here without any of you. Literally, you guys truly, I'm getting a little emotional, but you guys have truly saved my life. So thank you.
Literally always, dude. We want you at your best. And when even though things will get rough, that's like I said, we want you at your best.
Thank you.
And we're gonna make sure we can make that happen. So,
all right. Before I start like bawling because I'm a sappy shit, I think this is a good place. We should probably cut it off.
Sure. I'm glad I can make you emotional. That was my intent.
Oh God,
Because you said I don't want to get emotional, so I'm like, nah, fuck that. You're gonna get emotional.
No, dude, I've been emotional for the last couple weeks, so like anything right now is like residual. So much shit is triggering me. So it was gonna happen.
This was a perfect reflection.
Oh yeah, I really think like I tried to get everything in there that I remembered from the year, but honestly, Lady Spicari coming in and talking about nuggies got me really hungry, so I talked about food for 20 minutes. No, but before we go, for real, Raven, thank you for being my friend this year, and thank you for just being you, because you've made doing this podcast so easy, and you've really, without even trying to do anything, you've pushed me for consistency, and it really has kind of driven me to be better, and I just really appreciate you, man. So thank you, and I'm so glad that I got to really work with you this year and meet you.
Absolutely, and likewise, dude. And if it helps you any, I'm not going anywhere. Trust me, and I can't be anyone else. So you're stuck with me.
It's like, trust me, man. I want to leave, but Jesus Christ,
no, I don't want to leave. That's not what I was saying.
Yeah, no, like that'd be really fun. It's like I want to fucking leave, but I can't because I can't think of anything else to put it. I can't be like Blue Jay. I have to be a Raven. Oh,
but no, legit, man. So thank you too. I thank you for supporting me from that first live stream and asking me to be part of this.
Of course, man.
And
I wouldn't change who I have on the of my co-host for anybody, honestly.
Absolutely.
So thank you guys so much for what you guys have done for the both of us this year, because I don't know where I would be without you. I know I keep saying it, but I love you. I love all of you. And this has been a shit year, but it also had its moments. Thank you for just being here. This is TDN Horror Stories, and that is As the Raven Dreams. And this is the final episode of the TheDarkNest podcast ever. I didn't realize I was going to be saying it, but that's it. We're done. No, that'd be really funny. That'd be so fucked up.
Oh, shit. See, this is you can't just spring this shit on me, dude.
Yeah, I was thinking about doing that at the beginning. But yeah, this is the last episode for the year. And I won't be posting until the 1st or the 2nd. I do have something planned, so stay tuned for that. It's going to be a big story. Yeah, I'm really excited to see what we have in store for us for 2021, because 2020 I grew bigger than I ever thought I would, outside of number-wise, just like as a person. So I'm really, really excited about that.
Right on.
So we will be back.
Are we doing one next week?
Do we want to do one next week, or do you want to take a break?
It's up to you. I'm always available.
I think we'll see what happens.
Okay.
Depending on what happens, because I think I kind of want to just relax. It's been a long 2.5 weeks, so I definitely want to kind of just like lay here and enjoy myself. So most likely we'll have a podcast, but I really don't know. We probably won't know until the middle of the week, or probably like Friday.
Sure.
But if not, if we aren't back on the 3rd, we will be back on the 10th. And it'll probably give us more time to get a guest, because we have no one for next week. I don't think, right? Do we not?
I don't think we.
No, we don't. I don't think we have anybody.
We all we did was round it out the rest of the year.
Yeah, that was basically it. Maybe Maschino.
Yeah, he's been our backup guest twice now.
Yeah, and we never got him on, so he definitely has to get on at some point. I think I tried to get him on before we realized we were getting Raven Reeds, and he was like, "Nah, dude, I got something for Lady Spicari any other day though." And I'm like, "The next week it has to just be us." But we'll see what happens. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Thank you guys so much for being here for every episode of the podcast. Thank you for all you've done for us in 2020, and we will see you guys next year, 2021. Exciting stuff.
Until then, sleep well, friends.
See you later.